All right, let's just get right into it. If there's one single topic dominating literally every boardroom and break room right now, it's the sheer anxiety around AI. Everyone is quietly, or honestly not so quietly, asking the exact same question. Is AI going to take my job? Well, today in this explainer, we're diving deep into that exact dilemma. We're going to look at two massive real-world case studies, Klarna and Ikea. We'll see how they handle the exact same technological disruption in two totally different ways, and what it ultimately means for the future of how we all work. To really set the stage here, I want you to consider this idea. Don't ask what jobs can be eliminated, ask what else your people can build. Now, I know that might sound like a nice, feel-good corporate poster, but it's actually the central thesis of our explainer today. See, we've all been kind of conditioned to assume that when automation shows up, widespread layoffs just inevitably have to follow. But what if we challenge that? What if the real value of AI isn't about subtraction at all, but about addition? Okay, so let's ground this in a place we all know pretty well, the classic blue and yellow maze of an IKEA store. It's a very tangible, physical place, right? You walk the aisles, you heave those heavy flat pack boxes onto a cart, you try to assemble the stuff at home. It is a deeply human, hands-on experience. But behind all that physical reality, IKEA hit a massive digital turning point. Because of a brand new AI integration, 8,500 real human jobs were suddenly on the line. I mean, think about that. 8,500 livelihoods just hanging in the balance of a software upgrade. So let's start with part one, Klarna's automation trap, or the allure of AI speed. Klarna basically represents what we'd call the standard expected playbook for corporate automation. Back in 2024, they made huge waves. And honestly, it's pretty easy to see why. Just look at these numbers. First, their newly launched AI agent was suddenly handling 2.3 million conversations a month. Second, they absolutely slashed their customer resolution times, dropping from a sluggish 11 minutes down to under 2. And the financial payoff? This AI was slated to contribute $40 million in profit just by effortlessly handling the workload of 700 people. Fast, incredibly efficient, highly profitable. It looked like the ultimate AI grand slam. But, yeah, less than a year later, the damage was done. Just let that sink in for a second. The initial high of those crazy speed and profit metrics completely wore off, and what was left was the dangerous, hidden cost of pure, unchecked automation. Klarna quickly realized they had severely damaged both their hard-earned reputation and their customer retention. So where did it go wrong? Well, the failure happened right at the intersection of speed and human connection. The AI was actually handling regular, everyday inquiries perfectly fine. It gave them the lightning-fast speed they wanted. But human talent, that brings empathy, which is absolutely crucial during sensitive billing situations. When a machine tries to handle a highly emotional money problem with cold, rigid logic, it just completely breaks down. And as a result, incredibly frustrated Klarna customers started bypassing support altogether, taking their issues straight to social media and venting all their anger on Trustpilot. Which brings us to part two, IKEA's radical AI playbook, retrenching versus reassembling. So Ingka Group, that's IKEA's largest retailer, found themselves facing the exact same technological shift as Klarna, but their response? Remarkably different. Just like Klarna, IKEA deployed their own AI. They trained an AI-powered chatbot they named Billy, and Billy was a hit. It quickly started handling 47% of all customer calls, offering 24/7 availability for questions, personalized product info, the whole shebang. Wait times plummeted, and crucially, customer satisfaction actually went up. But remember what we talked about a minute ago? Because Billy was so incredibly successful at handling nearly half of the entire call volume, those 8,500 human workers were suddenly redundant. They could have easily been laid off right on the spot. And the temptation to just pull the plug on those jobs must have been huge when you look at the immediate savings. 13 million euros. That's over 17.1 million US dollars. For a lot of companies, honestly, the story ends right here. They take the 17 million in savings, they cut the 8,500 jobs, and they pop the champagne on a wildly successful quarter. But IKEA paused, and they asked a fundamentally different question. They asked, what are our customers demanding that these bots absolutely cannot provide? They dug into the data and discovered a massive, untapped market, premium interior design. Customers really wanted actual human help designing their living spaces. So instead of retrenching and firing those 8,500 people, IKEA reassembled. They took all 8,500 employees and retrained them to offer these premium customized design services. They used AI as a multiplier, providing better service for the customers and entirely new, much better opportunities for their people. So, the million-dollar question, did this radical playbook actually work out financially? Well, the punchline is staggering. 1.3 billion euros. That is $1.7 billion. By upskilling those workers instead of tossing them out, this entirely new premium design channel generated 1.3 billion euros in 2024 alone. It completely, utterly dwarfed the 13 million they saved from the initial chatbot automation. No contest. And this chart right here brilliantly illustrates that this wasn't just some lucky one-off fluke. In 2024, that new interior design channel accounted for 3.3% of IKEA's total revenue. But look at 2028. It is projected to jump to 10%. By keeping their human workers and elevating what they do, they didn't just save jobs. They literally built a sustainable, long-term growth engine for the entire organization. Moving into part 3, the human-AI balance, multiplying power. So what we've clearly seen from looking at Klarna and IKEA side by side is that pure automation is a total trap. If you just use AI to slash costs and eliminate the human touch, you're eventually going to hit a brick wall of customer frustration. Smart companies know you use AI to multiply, not subtract. Actually, funnily enough, even Klarna realized this eventually. After the damage was done, they actually had to start rehiring humans. And when they spoke to CX Dive about it later, they delivered what I think is the perfect summary for this whole explainer. They said, AI gives us speed. Talent gives us empathy. Together, we can deliver service that's fast when it should be and emphatic and personal when it needs to be. That's it. That's the golden formula. You let the AI handle the repetitive speed, and you free up your human talent to do what only humans can do: empathize, design, and deeply connect. Which brings us to a final thought for today. How are you applying this balance to your own work? Whether you're running a massive retail empire, leading a small creative team, or honestly just managing your own daily workflow, this is the question you've got to be asking. The AI revolution is here for sure, but the goal should never be elimination. Stop asking what you can cut and start asking what you and the talented people around you can build next. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope it arms you with a powerful new perspective to take back into your own work.